Welcome back to the Velvet Story, where emotions unravel and love finds its way through silence and storms. Tonight, in Chapter 14 of Pretend, secrets stir the soul, smirks hide aching truths, and a war of words dances with hidden desire. When silence speaks louder than confessions, and proximity teases hearts on the edge, what will happen when feelings dare to bloom in a fake marriage? So, settle into the warmth of your favorite corner, take a deep breath, and step into a world where every look burns. Every word stings, and every moment lingers. Geet, I know time is very short, but we have to follow rituals. I want you to make a sweet dish for us, Dadi Ma said gently, her voice filled with warmth, but laced with the authority of tradition. But Mrs. Geet began, her voice low and hesitant. Get, Dadi interrupted firmly, her tone a gentle warning, reminding her that she was no longer an outsider in this home. I mean, Dadi, you know Prima Auntie doesn't like this. Why should we hurt her even more? Geet's words were soft, uncertain, laced with the guilt of being where she wasn't fully accepted. Geet, one day or the other, she has to accept you. And just because of her dislike, we can't ignore our rituals. Right? Geet lowered her eyes. There was truth in Dadi's words, bitter, inevitable truth. What do you want me to make for you all? She asked quietly. Any sweet dish that's easy for you and consumes less time. Okay, Geet nodded with a sigh, the weight of her position pressing against her chest. But before she could move, Dadi's sharp eyes noticed something. Geet, where is your Mangalsutra? And why is your partition bare, without vermilion? Geet stiffened, eyes widening in panic. Dadi Ma, I forgot to wear it, she admitted, her voice trembling. It's okay, you prepare the sweet dish. I'll ask a servant to bring it to you. But Dadi Ma, Geet gasped. The panic was real. Her wedding symbols were in Abhi's room, a room that once was hers. A room that now stood as a cruel reminder of what wasn't real. Dadi Ma, why a servant? I'll get it for my wife myself. After all, no one knows where I've kept it. Man's voice came in, smooth as silk but firm like steel. Geet's heart skipped a beat. Again, he'd stepped in. Again, he spun the lie into gold. That's good, Man, Dadi Ma said with a pleased smile. Geet, handle Abhi for a few seconds until I return, Man said, looking at her with those unreadable eyes. Yes, she nodded, forcing a calm she didn't feel. But why should Geet handle Abhi? She has rituals to perform, Dadi asked, frowning slightly. Dadi Ma, I'll handle Abhi too, Geet said quickly, stretching a smile across her lips as she called, Come, Abhi. And just like that, the little boy came running, melting into her arms with trust only children could give so easily. Geet, don't you trust me too? Dadi asked suddenly, her voice unexpectedly tender. It's not like that, Dadi Ma. Then give him to me. After all, we also have some relationship now. Dadi Ma, believe me, I don't have any issue but. No, if, or, but, Geet. Ask him to come to me. Her voice faltered. Dadi Ma, Prima Auntie doesn't like him. Prima also needs to learn a lesson. Dadi Ma crossed her arms, her tone now edged with steel. Now introduce us. Geet's throat dried up. Her lips trembled. This moment was harder than she expected. Abhinav, she is. I am your great-grandma, Dadi completed, her eyes softening with love. Great-grandmama? Really, Mama? Abhi said in wonder, eyes wide. But Granny is in hospital. I'm your other great-grandma, she smiled, spreading her arms. Abhinav, go to her and don't irritate her. Okay, Mama. He chirped and ran into Dadi's embrace. You are so cute, Abhi, Dadi said, holding him tight. The boy hid his face shyly in her pallu, making everyone smile. Man, now you go and bring her things from your room, Dadi said, emphasizing every word. Yes, Dadi Mom, Man responded coolly, though he'd caught the deliberate hint beneath her tone. Geet's nerves tangled tighter. What if he hadn't been there? Her own ignorance, her forgetfulness, it terrified her. Scene shift. Maan stepped into Abhi's room and gathered Geet's items silently. The room was familiar, yet hollow now. He returned and placed her things gently in her hands. But Dadi Ma stopped him. "Maan, your Dadaji always made me wear it with his own hands. I really wish you could carry out this personal ritual too, at least in front of me." "Sure, Dadi Ma," he said, his voice low and steady. Geet flinched, her fingers trembling as her heart thudded. Maan stepped forward, slowly filling the parting in her hair with vermilion. He then tied the Mangalsutra around her neck. The intimacy was unbearable. It was a lie, but a powerful one. A few specks of dry vermilion fell on her nose. "Geet, your nose," Maan murmured. Geet, dazed and stormy inside, didn't hear. Dadi smiled. "It shows your love for her." Geet heard it, but her heart was too crowded with chaos to react. "I'm leaving with Abhi now. Come, Maan. I've some things to discuss with Geet, Dadi Mom. We can talk later." M.R. "Maan," Geet stammered, her composure slipping again. "I'm not going to interfere between husband and wife," Dadi teased, winking playfully. "Dadi Ma, meet you at the dining table, Geet," she called as she walked away, smirking. Left alone, Geet felt a different kind of storm brewing. Maan's dark brown eyes were unreadable, but they stirred something she didn't want to acknowledge. "What's wrong, Geet? Are you feeling something around me?" His voice teased like a feather. She didn't respond. Her gaze wandered to the kitchen platform where Dadi had neatly arranged soaked rice, boiled carrots, spices, everything ready. "Ignoring me, Geet?" His voice again, closer now. Before she could move away, she found herself locked between his body and the shelf. "Mr. Khurana, have you forgotten my condition? Leave me, may." "What?" she snapped. "Translate it in Italian," he whispered, his lips brushing her ear. And just like that, he stepped back with a smirk. "See, I left you. Now you come to me," he said playfully. Her heart raced. She turned away, trying to collect herself. "Although you look hot, sexy, stunning. I never knew you'd look so delicious in my choice when I know what you wear inside." Her eyes widened in horror. She slapped a hand over his smirking lips. "I can't believe it. You are so perverted, Mr. Khurana," she hissed, cheeks burning. "Just go from here." Her hand still lingered on his lips. "Go," she repeated. He looked down at her hand, then back at her, amused. Realizing her mistake, she quickly snatched her hand away. "See, I always make people do what I want," he grinned. "Just go," she muttered again, flustered. He murmured something else, definitely another perverted comment, but she didn't have the energy to respond. She turned back to the stove. Cooking for her in-laws, this moment had once been her dream. When they first got married, she never had a chance. They had flown away the very next day. Their relationship a charade. Now, she was doing it again, this time, fully aware that the lie was still alive. Flashback start. "Geet, I want you to make good wishes for us, but I'm not that lucky," Savitri had once said. Tears welled in Geet's eyes. "What happened, Geet? Did he say something to you?" "No, Auntie," she choked. "Now you can call me Mamma, Geet." "Yes, Mamma," she sobbed, hugging her tight. "What happened?" "Nothing, Mamma. I'm really going to miss you." How could she tell her that her son had betrayed not only her, but also his mother? "I'll miss you too, but think, you'll study in a good college now. Your dreams are coming true." She nodded, wiping her tears. "I'll make you cook for me when you both come back." "I really love you, Mamma," Geet whispered in her heart. "If pretending makes you happy, I'll pretend till my last breath. But I'll never forgive your son." "I love you too," Savitri smiled. They had sat in the car and left for the airport. Flashback end. Geet made gajar ka halwa and kheer, thanks to Dadi Ma's preparations. She placed the dishes on the table. "Wow, Bhabhi, it smells delicious," Annie exclaimed. "I'm with Annie, Bhabhi. I smell, Dev moaned dramatically. Her cheeks turned crimson. The word delicious still echoed in her ears from earlier. I am so pleased with your skills, Geet, Dadi Ma praised warmly. Thank you, she said shyly. Now serve us. She served everyone one by one. When she reached Man, he leaned in and whispered, I thought you were delicious, but your skills are too. But I love. She shot him a glare and moved away before he could finish. He's dangerous. I'll be embarrassed in front of all because of him. Finally, she reached Prema. I'm not going to touch anything made by this woman. Prema snapped. Likewise, I said, Geet replied, calm and unfazed. Look how she talks back to me. Prema shouted. Prema, don't be so childish, Dadi Ma snapped. I'm being childish, Mom. Are you saying this? She huffed scornfully. Man is not a kid or a thing I want to snatch. Yes, he's not a kid. He's the richest business tycoon, and you want to snatch him, just like you snatched Anupama's son from her. Prema accused. Mrs. Khurana. Geet screamed, her voice shaking with fury. Didn't I set a condition? Don't talk about my past life and my son. But today, you broke both. I won't tolerate it next time. She warned. How could she tell her that her son Prema, behave? And Geet, you too, Dadi said. You are asking me to stop? I'm behaving the way you behave with your daughter-in-law. She is not my daughter-in-law. I'm not going to accept her. Prema, I'm not asking you to accept. But at least behave decently. Teach her that. Then give her the respect to earn it. She's serving you, and you started first. You are taking this woman's side over your daughter-in-law's? I'm taking the side of my granddaughter-in-law and my grandson's wife. Well, I'm not taking her. Your wish. Geet, sit and have breakfast with us. I'm so sorry, Dadi Ma. I have an important meeting, and I have to drop Abhi. I'll eat something at the office when I'm free, Geet said with great difficulty. She wasn't hurt, no, she had already expected this. But the bitterness of being spoken about like an outsider, after sacrificing so much for a fake relationship, made her chest ache. The reward for all her silent battles was this. She took Abhi's hand and walked out. Head held high, scene shift. Mama, she scolded you. Abhi frowned. Abhi, go to Rosie auntie. She'll help you get ready. As soon as they reached the room, tears slipped from Geet's eyes. The moment she was alone, her strength shattered. Mama, don't cry. Look, she scolded me too, but I'm a good boy. Don't cry, Abhi said in his adorable tone, half his words in his mouth, half on his lips, but trying his best to console his mother. She wiped her tears quickly. Abhi, please get ready. I'm getting late, she said, her voice cracking. Okay, Mama, he replied obediently. And that was chapter 14 of Pretend, only on the Velvet Story, where love isn't spoken, but felt in the fire behind every glance. If Man's smirk made your heart skip, or Geet's defiance made you ache with admiration, don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe to stay wrapped in this tangled, velvet tale. Until next time, let the silence speak.